Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Steele Family Cards coming back at you with another video. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a top 10 favorites type of series, and so this will be the first in a line of, or hopefully a line of, top 10 favorite of our PC collection cards. And I thought I'd start with one of the ones that I love the most, or that I enjoy the most, which is our some of our vintage cards. And so as you can see, we have some stands up here, and we'll start back here, going 10, 9, 8, and so on. So yeah, I also want to say a huge thank you to our friend over at Nate's Breaks and Unboxings for giving us these stands, because I didn't have any before, and it's just really nice to be able to have them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. So coming in at number 10 is this PSA Authentic Bobby Richardson 1963 Fleer autographed card. So it's an authentic autograph, and I just think it's really cool. I've not had a vintage auto on a card like this, so this is really the only vintage auto card I have. But I picked it up in an auction, and I felt like it was a good deal, and it's one of my dad's favorite players, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to pick one of those up. So number 10 was this 1963 Bobby Richardson autographed Fleer card. All right, so coming in at number 9 is another one of my favorites. Obviously, I like all of them as I have purchased them over time. But this is a 1952 Topps Monty Irvin, and you can kind of see the back. It's a red back, so not sure how familiar y'all are with 1952 Topps, but they have two different variations on the backs. You can have the red backs, and then they also have black backs. I definitely prefer the red backs. I think they're a cooler color and kind of set the card off better as far as that goes. But yeah, so I like this. You'll notice none of these cards are going to be in super amazing condition, but you know, that's just because I don't want to pay $200 for a Monty Irvin. Just doesn't seem like a good value at this point in my life. All right, so coming in at number 8, sorry. Coming in at number 8 is 1971 Topps Nolan Ryan Mets card. And I really like, of all the older early career Ryans, I really like this 71 because it's got some of the first in-game action shots that they were ever to put on cards. It wasn't first color shots, obviously, but it was first in-game shots. So I thought that was really cool, and you can kind of see the back here as Ryan was 7 and 11 that year. So pretty early on in his career still, but the dude was just a straight up amazing pitcher. All right, now coming in at number 7, we have this 1961 Topps Hank Aaron. So I don't know if it's super easy to tell in the video, but it does have, well, you can kind of see it up here in the corner, has some printing marks on it, so it's not amazing, but the corners are actually pretty good, and you know, it is a Hank Aaron card. You can kind of see the back there. One of the other fun things about the 61 Topps is my dad and I, between the two of us, are working to try and come up with a complete set. And my dad pretty much refuses to pay more than like $4 for any card. So if we want to get any of the stars from 61, I'm going to have to be the one to do it, because I have fewer qualms about paying a little bit more money for a card. So yeah, so coming in at number 6, we have this 1956 Topps Al Kaline Grayback. It was PSA graded at a 5. And I love the 56 set. I actually have several 56 Topps cards, but it's truly artwork. Same actually with the 52, because a lot prior to, I think it was 1957, all of the cards were hand drawn, and you had the pictures. So this is somebody's handwork of art there, which was, I just thought, really cool. And then you've got the gray backs here in the 1956. They also come in white backs for most of the cards, which it actually offsets really nicely. And they seem to carry a little bit of a premium, so that's why gray backs are nice. But yeah, Al Kaline, youngest batting title winner there. So coming in at number 5, we have another 1971 Topps. This one is Roberto Clemente, and he was just such an amazing outfielder and a true humanitarian, and it was really sad that he had passed away in the plane crash. So I got this one for definitely better, because you see it has, somebody wrote his number on the back, but still the card looks really nice, has pretty good corners, and I mean, it's a Roberto Clemente, so it's a cool card. All right, so we're down to our top 4 here in this front row. It's coming in at number 4 is this 1952 Topps Larry Doby. And not everybody knows, but I think it's definitely coming out more, that Larry Doby was the first black player or African-American player to play in the American League. And he was an amazing player as well. You can see this one's also a red back, so you can kind of check out the stats there. But yeah, I've become a huge fan of Larry Doby, and just knowing that he entered the league not long after Jackie Robinson and was a pioneer in the American League and a really great player to boot. So we've got that Larry Doby. All right, and then coming in at number 3, we have this 1957 Topps Ernie Banks. 57 is definitely one of my favorite sets, probably along with the 56, just because 56 had the really cool art designs and hand-drawn stuff, and then the 57 is the cool color pictures. And not only was Ernie Banks a really great shortstop, great player, Mr. Cub, and there you can kind of see the back along with it too. But this card in particular holds some special significance, because when I first started getting back into collecting 4 or 5 years ago, this was one of the first cards I was able to purchase, and I made a deal, and I felt like it was a really good deal, and so it has a special place in my heart for that one too. Set that one there. So we're down to our top 2. Coming in at number 2, probably the best all-around player ever. But this is also 1957 Topps Willie Mays. I have a couple other Willie Mays cards, but this is by far the oldest one. And I just really like it. It's a cool picture. And then you can also see this was the year he had just hit 296, but he was just such an amazing player. And one of my goals someday is to maybe get a complete set of the 1957 Topps, but that will be much harder, given that the person that comes in at number 1 on my list, the card, even in decent condition, like very good EX, runs probably $500 to $600, so that's a lot of change for a baseball card. So coming in at number 1 is probably the most valuable card that I actually own, is this 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle EX5. And like I was saying, this is towards the end of collecting the 1961 Topps set with my dad. So, and Mickey Mantle was definitely my dad's favorite player growing up, so I've always kind of had an affinity for Mickey Mantle. So we've got some of those. And that's the top 10 favorites. And I thought I'd also show you a couple other cards. Didn't make my top 10 favorites, but they are very close. So we had this 1961 Topps Sandy Koufax, which again, it's a 61, and you have one of the best left-handed pitchers ever. And then we had this 1956 Topps Eddie Matthews, which is cool again. As you can see, we kind of have the trend here. We got a 56 Larry Doby. I'm also trying to, at some point, I'd like to get a card of Larry Doby's from every year that he had one made. I think his first is a 1948 or 49 Bowman, and then he had cards all the way through 1959 tops. So Larry Doby, really cool. And then we have this 1956 Harmon Killebrew. So this is actually his second year card. So if you look at his stats, at this point he had 4 lifetime home runs. And I always liked Harmon Killebrew just because I thought he was a really cool player. This one is kind of cool because back in '56, the Twins at the now Minnesota Twins were the Washington Nationals, which is obviously the current name of the current Washington team. But anyway, I always liked Harmon Killebrew just because he was kind of a good power hitter. And then we have this 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle. As you can kind of see, this is pretty beat up. Certainly would probably rate at a poor or whatever, but still a really cool card. The image is really vivid. The coloring's good. And then you can kind of see this is actually a white back card, so you can see how a lot of the stuff stands out. And one of the cool things, like the cartoons on this one are still really readable, and then you can still get the stats. Then we have a 1955 Bowman Eddie Matthews with the brown borders and the TV. And then the final one that just kind of barely missed the cut was this cool 1965 Topps Bert Campaneris. I love these old school cup cards with the huge old cup on them. And then there's kind of your back. And Bert Campaneris is the guy who played all 9 positions in a baseball game back in the, I want to say it was like 71, sometime in that time frame. So anyway, just wanted to share some of my top 10 favorite vintage cards, plus a bonus of another like 6 or 7 cards, because vintage cards are just so cool and they represent history, which is what I like, and just takes you back to the older times, and you can check out stats of some of the old all-time greats of the game of baseball, which is, in my opinion, the best game in the world. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you want to keep seeing some of these top 10 favorite videos and stuff, you can like our videos, you can subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe, it'd be kind of cool, and then you can get the bell for notifications so you can know right away when we end up posting something. So yeah, thanks, and ta-ta for now.